My name is Dr. Mike Young. I own and operate a performance training center in North Carolina. I have worked in various levels of professional football, soccer in the U.S. And my background is in sport biomechanics, but I practice as a sport conditioning coach and physiologist. I think that the seasons are very difficult on players. Players are playing more games at the highest level. Obviously, international duty creates totally different stresses on players, where they have to travel and get off a plane and compete at a high level, and then travel again and compete for their team, their club. And the seasons are longer, the pre-seasons are shorter, the off-seasons are likewise more condensed. So it creates a scenario where it's a perfect storm of sort for athletes to get more injured. What's happening is that because the preparation time to play is becoming increasingly shorter and the seasons are becoming increasingly longer, and the games and players are faster and stronger and more athletic, that the demand for being very fit and taking advantage of any window of opportunity, whether it's preseason or a week where you don't have any games in the season, is very important. You'd be trying to look at where there maybe are weaknesses in the team's physical capacities. It might be an opportunity to do some testing to see whether any physical qualities have fallen off since the preseason, and then addressing those to bring them back up to par. Some of them can be remediated very quickly, and when possible, they should be. A solid 3 days of training can really have a fairly significant impact on some of the physiological indicators of performance. If you are tired, you will not be able to express the fitness that you have. So what you have to do is allow for appropriate levels of recovery so that that athlete feels good, they're ready to perform, and then the fitness that they have developed, the fitness that they have, is able to shine through. Performance is really the cross-section of both fitness and fatigue. If one of them is out of balance, then performance will drop. The highest level of performance occurs when fitness is high and fatigue is low. But training to maintain fitness actually produces fatigue. So it's always going to be an up and down of fitness, an up and down of fatigue to keep performance at a high level. There's some truth to you putting in the work during the preseason, and you will be able to hold on to that for some period of time. But to think that you can put all your money in the bank and just withdraw it over the course of the season, it doesn't quite work like that. You have to reinvest at certain points of the season, and you can't just put it all in the bank at one time. You need to put an appropriate amount and then continue to make deposits through the entire season. Otherwise, you overload to the extent that injuries like are happening at Man U happen. My background does come from performance-oriented sports, where if you're bigger, faster, stronger, more enduring, you basically win. And I think those sports, there's no margin for error in physical development. And as a result, you can't hide out because of strategy or technique or tactical play, or because there's 10 other players on the pitch. So you have to be at your physical peak at all times. Now, as a result of that, those sports have developed best practices for becoming fast, becoming strong, becoming big jumpers, high jumpers, or running for extended periods of time as fast as possible. So with all of those activities, you can look at what they have done and then obviously apply it and have to tweak it to the specific demands of soccer, because soccer is quite unique in that it's a hybrid of all those things. But if you look at what's been done in terms of the best practices for strength training and for speed development and developing endurance, it comes from sports like swimming and track and field and weightlifting, where that is the sport. So I think the sport of soccer is still quite a bit behind in terms of physical preparation in these other areas.